What is this place? The room is lit, but it's still somewhat dark. The atmosphere feels heavy. Nick, what are we doing in a place like this? How should I know? We're just a couple of bakers, but I don't think they brought us here to make bread. Thanks. Is it me or is that guard staring down at us right now? It's right. Maya. Oh, it's this fella. They really need to give me names every time. Spella, what's exactly going on? I'm sorry. I was the one who sent for you both. Spella can have a little murder. It's a treat. You sent for us? I'm being put on trial. What? What happened? I don't know. Just don't understand what's going on. I didn't do anything wrong. I couldn't possibly murder anyone. Murder? Thank you, Mr. Wright. Please, I need your help. Just one more time. Huh? You need my help? What could I possibly do? Spella, I'm just a baker. The only thing I know about law is how not to get on the wrong side of it. Wait, hold on a sec. Spella, what did you just say? You said you needed Nick's help just one more time. One more time? Not quite sure myself, but when the knights came and took me, a vision suddenly appeared in my mind. It was Mr. Wright. He was fighting for me. That was such an awful color for that text. Defending me, that brave blue figure, it was clear as day. I was fighting for you? Why did they pick black of all colors? They could have done white with black back with like outline. No way. That's impossible. I mean, it's like I already said. I'm just a baker. I have a hard enough time rolling dough, let alone defending someone in court. It's not the same thing too, at first, but I don't think that's quite true. You and Maya, sometime, somewhere, you helped me. You fought for me as a defender. Defender. What's wrong, Nick? I wish I knew Maya, but hearing about some defender, can't help but feel something inside me just burning at the mention of it. Accused, defender. It's time. Head forth, you two. Head forth. Where are we going exactly? To the courtroom in which today's trial will be taking place. The Chamber of Fire. Chamber? A fire? Make haste. If you're about a moment late, a guilty verdict will be delivered immediately. What? No way. Mr. Wright. I'm truly sorry, Mr. Wright. I don't know, this is all so sudden. It's a lost cause, isn't it? Well then, let's head inside, Spella. Huh? This overwhelming pressure. It feels so familiar somehow. Almost like deja vu. Mr. Wright. Let's go, Maya. Maybe we'll get a better idea once the trial gets underway. Alright, let's do it, Nick. There's a lot of death in this game, surprisingly.
What is this heat? It's like an oven in here.
I will now pronounce the verdict. This court finds the accused guilty of being a witch.
I'm not a witch! Please, I beg you to reconsider! I'm not...
Witches are to be cast straight into the hellfire!
What?
No!
So this is the witch's court.
So how are you feeling, Nick? I'd forgotten what this fell up, like, up until now. Where'd I get this suit from? Huh? The butterflies in my stomach, and tension so thick you could slice it with a knife. All these feelings. These are feelings I'm definitely familiar with. Anyway, we're here to fight for Spella and get her out of this place. That's right.
The court is now in session for the trial of Espella Cantabella. Defender,
Yes, Your Honor?
yours is a face I've not seen in any past trials. But no matter. Start by stating your name, Defender.
Yes, Your Honor.
My name is Phoenix Wright, Ace Baker.
A baker?
I asked him to come, my lord. I want him to represent me. This court dictates that the accused is free to assign a defender of their choosing.
Yo, she's screwed.
Very well. At any rate, the result of this trial shall not change. That aside, I've not yet seen hide nor hair of the Inquisitor assigned to this trial.
Inquisitor? Oh, right. I should have noticed earlier.
No one's there.
Should the assigned Inquisitor fail to appear in court, I will have no choice. He is an Inquisitor of high caliber, but if he does not come forward soon, this trial will end, and victory will then be declared in favor of this baker.
Hold it!
Look at those super grainy cutscenes.
Knights of the court, I have but one question for you both. Are you prepared to cross swords?
I, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum, am indeed prepared to do battle, my lord.
Something amiss, Baker?
Sorry, Your Honor, I just didn't realize we could have swords here in the courtroom.
It is the way of the court knight. A knight must always ensure that he rides with a blade at his side. Now then, state your name.
Just put 90 pounds of armor for this trial.
Wright.
Huh? My name's Phoenix Wright. I'm a baker. How many times will they make me say it?
Where do you get the suit from?
A baker?
Nick, quit with the long face. You look miserable.
No need to waste your breath. This trial will be over before you can utter a single objection. For the security of all of Labyrinthia, my blade shall rend your defenses swiftly and without mercy.
That's it, Barnum. Put another one out of misery. This trial's pointless. Hand down the verdict already. Put the Adobe Defender trial too, I say. I like Maya's face on that. Oh boy, what's with all this excitement? You'd hardly think this is a courtroom. The crowd doesn't seem very interested in law, that's for sure. It's like they're all just hoping for a guilty verdict. Inquisitor Barnum. Oh. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. I'm not copying his voice well, but I don't care. As you wish, my lord. First, let us begin by recounting the events leading up to the murder. Is that acceptable, Sir Prentice Baker? As you wish. The murder occurred this very evening. Yesterday, there was heavy rainfall in that area. Eventually gave way to sunshine, which came just in time for today's parade. Although a few hours after the parade ended, the rain set in once more. Must have been when Spell and the others were at the Great Archive. It continued to rain until just before the incident, which took place on a small path leading to the market. The accused had been out doing some shopping in the market. She returned home on the very same path. And on that forest path, two rogues named Robs and Muggs, which are clearly designed to look like Professor Layton characters, are said to have accosted the accused. One could assume the accused simply acted in self-defense. I see. Robs and Muggs. Those two have appeared in court a number of times in the past. And yet they weren't witches, so we didn't kill them. Two rogues, huh? So far, it may appear that the accused was more the victim. However, the situation soon changed. That's right. The accused, Espella Cantabella, knowingly and mercilessly murdered her two assailants. Cantabella. That girl, isn't she? I always knew she looked suspicious. Just not so loud. Right, there's that weird excitement again. I believe we fully now grasp what happened. It is getting late already. Let's begin the trial. Inquisitor Barnum, you may now begin. As you wish, my lord. The Inquisition will now hear eyewitness testimony regarding the night of the murder. Eyewitness testimony, huh? Looks like this trial is finally getting underway. I can't back down now. I have to fight. But I'm just a simple bread-making baker, living a simple bread-making life. Ugh, the situation's more twisted than pretzel, and I'm smack in the middle of it. Wait, who's accusing them? I don't know. But I have to do this to save Espella. Okay, let's see if I can untwist this testimony and put this thing to bed. Like, how do they know Espella killed someone? Don't know. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Allow me to welcome you all. Now, would you each please state your name and occupation?
Hold it!
Wait a minute, what's going on here? As I already explained, Sir Apprentice Baker, this is the eyewitness testimony. Yes, I understand that, but there are 4 witnesses. Indeed. As many people inside the courtroom could pose a health and safety issue. Your Honor, that's not quite what I meant. Witness testimonies are supposed to be done one by one, as in one witness at a time. What are you talking about, child? We'd be here all night if we did that.
That's right, young man. We have witnessed the very hand of fate reach out to us this evening.
Could we hurry this along, perhaps? These flowers won't sell themselves as much as my boss wishes they would. The path to knighthood is an arduous one, but I remain steadfast in my resolve as I travel down this long road. Why is this sword flimsy? I shall not falter. I will be victorious. Who cares? Just question them all at once. We already know the girl in the cage did it. Let's get on with it. Yeah, finish this already. I'd like to go back home and get to bed.
Witnesses, again, state your names and occupations. I am known as Wordsmith. But what is a name? How doth one describe an occupation? Like the bubbling of a babbling brook. I flow gracefully around the rocks and debris that is life, nary a worry in my mind. Right, so I guess that means he's jobless. My name is Mary, and this starling kid is Snowy. Snowy and I often travel to the edge of town to sell delicious fresh milk. Milk like that doesn't happen overnight. I work my hands to the bone, squeezing each drop out. Literally. That sounds pretty frightening. I'm Kira. I'm a flower seller. If you would all be so kind, feel free to purchase one of my beautiful flowers at any time during trial. He has sword dysfunction. Also, who's buying all these flowers? There's no way I'll sell them all by morning. Oh, the life of a flower girl is so hard. Eesh, talking about a hard sell. My name is Nidal. I aim to join our town's Order of Knights, study night and day, though I'm still but a mere squire. Joining the Knights of Inquisition is my life's ambition. And I, Nidal, will do whatever necessary to join them. So he's jobless too. Honorable witness, I ask that you show this court your best when delivering your testimonies. Now tell us what exactly you all saw on this ill-fated eve. Probably nobody. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated the air, and the soft light shone faintly in the distance. Muggs grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground. I've changed my voice at least 3 times this session. Poor goat. I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those 2 villainous men burst into flames. There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without doubt, magic must have been used. Knightley wants to be a knight. Innovative dangerism at work. Magic. Sir Apprentice Baker, you may now begin your interrogation. I have but one piece of advice. I suggest you pay heed.
Do not waste the court's time by grilling these witnesses over irrelevant nonsense, Sir Prentice Baker. Are you alright, Nick? They sure love calling you Apprentice Baker, huh? I'll be honest with you, I have no idea how I'm feeling right now, but I know it's all up to me. As her defender, a spell's fate is in my hands. I have to believe in her, and I need to start believing in myself. I can do this. I believe this spell is innocent, and I'll fight until the end to prove it. Yeah, that's the spirit. We can do this, Nick. Okay. Press. Press. Press.
Hold it!
What time would that be exactly? Dinner time. When else would the scent of dinner be in the air if not dinner time? Do you see? Not so much. The sun had already set by that time. That should be adequate. The sun had already set. So you clearly witnessed what happened tonight, is that correct? I have been dubbed a witness, thus I must have clearly have witnessed something. Do you see? In that case, how much light was there in the immediate area at that time? Enough to see the nose on my face, but not enough to see the trees ahead. Do you see? No, that doesn't add up. If the area was completely dark, then you couldn't possibly have witnessed anything. Do you see? Nevertheless, something caught my eye. It was a most ominous sight. Ominous is what that sight was. Okay, I get it. It was ominous.
Objection!
Poor form, Sir Apprentice Baker. I hate to disappoint you, but there was in fact light in the area. Huh? Take a look at this. This is a drawing of the crime scene based on the witness's accounts as penned by the court illustrator. The court illustrator? I've never heard that before. Look carefully. This shows what the scene looked like at the time of the murder. An illustration of highest quality, as always. Now then, we haven't established that by the time the murder occurred, the sun had already set. And so, naturally, the defendant was carrying a fire-lit lantern, as we can see. A lantern? Eureka, indeed. Yes, that is what I was saying earlier. There was a lantern, I say. Oh, please, you fully forgot. To be honest, I did not imagine it would be necessary to present this, but... My lord, here is the lantern in question. This is what was responsible for the light illuminating the area. Very well, the court accepts this into evidence. Speaking of which, Inquisitor Barnum, in this drawing, the accused seems to be holding a milk bucket of sorts. What became of this? That is a strange case indeed, my lord. The bucket seemingly disappeared from the murder scene. The milk bucket disappeared, you say? There has been talk of wolves living in the nearby forest. It is thought they often make off with the items they find on the ground. Great. Wolves that steal your stuff. Remind me to never set foot in the forest. This is great, Nick. We've got new evidence now. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, Nick, you really don't look like just some normal run-of-the-mill baker. I say you're more like a somewhat articulate run-of-the-mill baker. I think you might even have a knack for being a defender. Look at seeing wolves. Nice, this case is ironclad. There's a clear contradiction somewhere in the testimony. I'm gonna find it. All these cases in this game are like this. Muggs grabbed the girl by the arm. It looked like he almost pushed her to the ground. Why can I not press with the L button?
Hold it!
Muggs was one of the two rogues, is that correct? That's right. That man, he grabbed the girl's arm and pulled out a knife. Is something wrong? Or was it Robs that grabbed the girl and had the knife? Huh? Oh dear. No, let's see. Muggs was the short one and Robs was... No, I think it's the other way around. Stop squeezing the poor goat! Freaking bucket stealing wolves. Well, it doesn't really matter which was now. What did it? That's all well and good, but I was kind of just hoping to testify that the lantern. Honorable witnesses, please continue with your testimonies. Okay. I heard a faint voice cry out. The next moment, those two villainous men burst out into flames. Oh, go back. I want to press that.
Hold it!
You think it might be Little Lamb? It's a goat. Because Mary has a goat farm for goat milk. Exactly whose cry did he hear? Well, it was the accused. It was Spell's voice, of course. And did you get a good look at Miss Cantabelle's face? Yes, I mean, she was carrying that huge lantern after all. You're only sure because all the other witnesses just finished saying they saw her with the lantern. There was not a trace of fire to be seen in the area. Without a doubt, magic must have been used. Well, wait a second. Doesn't the lantern have fire in it? Here.
Objection!
What is the matter, defender? What is this feeling? I just felt the urge to shout out, right from the bottom of my lungs, while pointing my finger. Objection. I can't help but feel that's a word I've used quite a bit in the past. That's it, I remember now. I remember everything. The legal League of Attorneys exchange, Esfel's trial, and then that strange book. This feeling, I feel like I can take on the world. Witness! What's with the sudden pointing? I am a soon-to-be member of the Honorable Knights of the Inquisition. I accept your challenge. How about you? You say that no fire was present at the scene of the crime, meaning the defendant must have used magic. Unfortunately for you, that is not the case. What do you mean, Sir Apprentice Baker? Well, he had his sword, he could have objected harder. What I mean is that the defendant was in fact carrying a lantern. A lantern contained fire. Those two rogues were actually burned by the flame that was inside the lantern. That is the only logical explanation. My, what a startling conclusion you've come to, Sir Apprentice Baker. What do you mean? The only logical explanation. Do you agree with this statement, honorable witnesses? It is presumptuous for a man that knows nothing to claim that he knows something about which he really knows nothing. Huh? Besides, how could one teeny tiny flame be strong enough to set them both ablaze like that? There were two of them. How could that flame engulf them so fast? Furthermore, if they did burn as you claim they did, do you mean to suggest that they were soaked in oil or something? Oh. Well, Sir Blue Knight, it would have seemed you would have been off more than you can chew. I definitely didn't see that coming. What say you, my lord? Do you have any thoughts on proceedings thus far? Given the testimony as we have heard it, this court has come to its conclusion. 'Twas a truly gruesome and merciless act, an act for which only one thing could be held responsible. The nefarious crime of magic.
Hold it!
Wait just a second. Is there something you have forgotten to mention, Defender? Not exactly, Your Honor. You just said magic. That can't be right, can it? What are you suggesting, Sir Apprentice Baker? Witches use magic, which in turn brings about disaster. Such is the way of this world, is it not? Wait, yeah, that may seem to be the case, but no way is that actually possible. This court finds Espella Cannabella the accused charged with being a witch. Espella, a witch? A witch's existence in this world is a crime in itself. The ability to use and control magic is a criminal offense indeed. As such, any witch found practicing magic will be sentenced to death by fire.
No, you're wrong. I'm not a witch.
Sir Apprentice Baker, I do not envy your current predicament. My lord, hand down your guilty verdict against this witch immediately.
Objection!
But there's no evidence to prove that any magic was really used.
Pour the sock in it, bread boy. We all heard her cast a spell.
Huh? Stop squeezing that poor goat. It's right. Snowy and I heard it. Isn't that right, Precious? We heard that incantation quite clearly. That frightening voice. There's no mistaking it. It was a spell's voice.
These ears do not lie. I clearly heard it. Incantation, most sinister. Ignaze it went.
Incantation? Ignace? It's no good. I just can't wrap my head around this topsy-turvy, otherworldly court.
Well then, it would seem the defense has no further objections. It appears so. The court finds the use of magic at the time of the murder to be an undeniable fact. Furthermore, the honorable witnesses have stated that they each heard an incantation being recited. The court finds no reason to delay its verdict any longer.
Nick, we have to do something. I know, but what exactly can we say? Here, in this world, our sense of logic is completely useless.
This court is ready to hand down its verdict for the case of Espella Cantabella.
Hold it. Your Honor, I request that the court hold its verdict a moment longer.
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
I have something I believe will be of use to the defense. A weapon of sorts.
It's not a sword, Layton.
That's... the Grand Grimoire. All of this world's magic is contained within its pages. Without it, this trial cannot reach a satisfactory conclusion.
The Grand Grimoire.
Me again, Mr. Wright. Well, now it seems things are already afoot here, although the real contest begins now. Are you fully prepared?
So, are you here to help us? Of course, the professor always helps people in trouble. It is the duty of every gentleman, right, Professor?
Bert walks in and flops his huge dick on the counter.
Professor?
There is a saying that I find quite useful in situations such as this. There is a time for words and a time for action.
Right.
You have been working as a baker in this town up until now, have you not? I must say, I'm a little mystified. I expect you to be familiar with this world and its system of magic. Yeah, how can I put this? I guess that's not quite the full story. Is that so?
I kind of had an epiphany just now. I remember all sorts of things, like how I'm not actually a baker. Well, how magic can't really exist.
Then it would seem I was correct about you, Mr. Wright. You are not, in fact, a citizen of this town. Is that correct?
He gets shoved out of the window to make room for lousy-ass Luke. I think Maya's on the other side of them.
Right, seems that way. However, for now, we have no option to accept this world and its rules as reality. Without first understanding those rules, I'm afraid you will not be able to save Miss Catabella.
But things like magic only exist in fairy tales and make-believe.
I'm afraid, Mr. Wright, it would seem magic does in fact exist in this world. Such a truth cannot be denied. Indeed, this is why the Grand Grimoire is a weapon well suited for this witch trial. At the moment, you are tantamount to a knight without a sword.
I heard sword?
I feel more like an attorney without a chance, actually.
Right then, Mr. Wright, I'll explain how the Grand Grimoire works. Have you considered a tutorial? You're only 6 hours into this game. Well, that reminds me. I gone ahead and bookmarked the spell Ignaze for you.
That is the coolest fuck sword, to be honest.
Ignace, that's the magic spell all the witnesses said they heard, right? Nick, you should take a look at that spell. All I have to do is touch the Grand Grimoire button, huh?
The defender has been given more than enough time. It would seem this trial has reached its end. Is that understood, Sir Prentice Baker?
This case is quite straightforward, with very little room for doubt.
The witness's testimony, coupled with the illustration of the time of the murder, makes it quite clear what must have occurred. This murder was a result of magic. And furthermore, the caster said magic was none other than the accused. That, Sir Prentice Baker, is the truth. Best you go back to baking, for I believe your days in the courtroom have crumbled. Is everything okay, Mr. Wright?
Yes.
It would seem that photographs do not exist in this world.
Photos don't exist? I guess that makes sense. Ye old time period and all.
The sketch drawn by the court illustrator, therein lies your final chance, Mr. Wright.
My final chance?
I understand the witnesses have already finished their testimony. However, if you could perhaps find a clear contradiction within this illustration...
There's another contradiction.
In that case, there's still hope that can turn us around.
Mr. Wright, you have to hurry! Look, the judge! He looks ready to deliver his verdict any second now.
This is my last chance. What should I do? Find out contradiction.
Hold it!
1 second, Your Honor. The defense requests permission to have another look at the court illustration. I think there might be a contradiction in there.
Objection!
You are already out of time. All testimony and evidence given thus far has been proven to be accurate.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure, Inquisitor Barnum. There's just one thing you overlooked, a piece of evidence within this book. I guess we should look inside it. Summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. Inquires an incantation and scepter to cast. Okay. The Grand Grimoire. Absurd. I overlooked something. You are the defender here. You should examine the tome earlier.
You're right, I should have.
But unfortunately, I was nothing but a simple baker until just now. Interesting. You've certainly begun to show your true colors, Sir Blue Knight. Let us see what type of knight you truly are. Have at you. The defender will now show us the supposed contradiction. The court illustration and the Grand Grimoire. Somewhere there's a contradiction between these two, and I've got to find it. This is my last chance. Defender, use this magnifying glass to locate the point of relevance. Then reveal to the court the location of this contradiction.
Doop boop 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 boop.
Got it!
The contradiction is right here.
The hand of the accused? She seems to be holding a lantern. What is your point?
According to this tome, using the spell Ignace requires the use of the witch's scepter as well as an incantation. Isn't that right?
Correct. For witches to use magic, they must be in possession of a witch's scepter, also known as a talia magica.
That's the case. Then there's one thing that doesn't add up. Take another look at Miss Cantabelle's hands. Tell me, do you see the witch's scepter in either of their hands?
I'm out of water.
All these voices is hell on my throat. There we go. Let's see you point that sword at me now. You did it, Mr. Wright. But wasn't that contradiction just a little too obvious?
You're right, Luke. It would certainly appear that the good Inquisitor is taking this particular oversight rather too well. That is correct, Sir Prentice Baker. You should not underestimate me. This is perhaps your first time seeing this item, is it not? Right here is the very scepter you mentioned.
One of the witnesses found it tossed in the shrubbery on the right side of the path. Yes, indeed, that was I. I located it. My feet found themselves ensnared in the blasted thing, and it sent me flying through the air. Somehow I'm not surprised to hear you felt Gramps. It looks like a caduceus. This scepter does seem to carry a most sinister air. Indeed, my lord. However, this scepter will only work on the hands of a witch, with the incantation being said aloud. Aw, that's too bad. I wanted to try lighting some stuff on fire. Please don't look at me when you say that. You see, there are 2 magic gems set in the scepter. Magic gems. Looks like a red gem and a white gem. These gems each contain a particular magic spell. By simply looking at these magic gems, one can easily determine which magic spell can be used. Nick, quick, look at this page. Okay. Is that the red magic gem? Hell, huge rod for spells. Indeed, the red gem you see here is the spell Ignace, but if you look carefully, you should notice that this scepter also has one more spell that can be used. One more spell? That must be the white gem. Mr. Wright, I found it! Here's the spell for the white magic gem. Demir. Emir. Causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. Ugh. What about the bucket? The bucket's missing. I see you managed to work it out in that crusty head of yours. That just can't be. The reason of which a scepter can be seen is because the magic spell to Emir had made it disappear. That's right. In other words, the accused conjured a cowardly spell to camouflage her own use of magic. No way. Order! Inquisitor Barnum, please submit the scepter into evidence.
Objection!
Hold on, please. Is there a problem, Sir Baker? Okay, I understand this is Witch's scepter. However, whether or not a scepter was in Miss Cannibel's possession has not yet been proven. What are you talking about, Sir Prentice Baker? Isn't it obvious? I'm talking about fingerprints. Supposing Miss Cannibel did in fact handle the Witch's scepter, then her fingerprints should still be on it. What's with the silence? You said fingerprints. Inquisitor Barnum, tell me, what is this Baker babbling about? I have the slightest clue, my lord. It is the Baker's first time in court, after all. Huh? Everyone's shamed. The afraid is no use, Mr. Wright. In this world, it would have seemed the concept of fingerprinting does not yet exist. What? I can't believe it. As I've said already, best you head back to the bakery, lest you continue to serve this court more of your half-baked ideas. They're about as half-baked as your terrible puns, Barnum. Did he make a pun? Forensic science does not exist here. Instead, this is a world in which witches and magic are accepted as fact. Truly fascinating. What the heck? There are just way too many things I don't know about this world. Mr. Wright, I believe you may be able to take these things you don't know and use them to your advantage. Huh? The Inquisition believes there is no room for debate on this matter. The accused clearly attempted to conceal her magic. Better luck next time, Sir Prentice Baker. Mayhap your next loaf will not leave such a bitter taste in our mouths. Now then, my lord, I believe it is time. I ask that you render your unwavering verdict.
Objection.
Pardon the interruption. May I have a word, Inquisitor Barnum? What's that? Who might you be? My name is Herschel Layton. I'm a friend of the accused. Inquisitor Barnum, please allow me to confirm what you believe happened on the night of the crime. You claim the witch's scepter was made to disappear through the use of magic, is that correct? Indeed, through the magic spell Demir. If possible, would you mind providing proof of this particular claim? What? You claim the scepter was not seen. Indeed, that is one possibility. However, a wise man must always consider every possibility. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? Can the Inquisition fulfill the request presented by the gentleman with the unusual hat? The Inquisition cannot honor this request for proof. Here's my sword. If you are certain that the accused is not a witch, then the burden of proof lies at the feet of the defender. Come on, it's the Inquisition's job to prove that a crime is committed. As I thought, indeed, it would appear the accepted method of thinking in this world differs greatly from our own. How regrettable, Sir Apprentice Baker, and you, Sir Dark Hat. Mr. Barnum, sir, should you inquire? I said ready to lend my testimony. Would anyone care to purchase any pre-testimony flowers? I got a lovely array of bewitching lilies. Snowy and I will not be dismissed so easily. We came here to expose the identity of this witch. Isn't that right, Precious?
Which is scepter, you say? Yes, I know of such a scepter. Allow me to elucidate the matter.
What do you think, Inquisitor Barnum? Your witnesses appear to have something to say on the subject. Very well. Most honorable witnesses, I grant your request to testify once more. Tell the court all you know regarding this Talia Magica. Ugh. Well, we somehow managed to keep the trial going. I owe you one, Sir Darkhat. Please, Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton will suffice for the time being. Why did it show that? That happened for everybody else? Is it frozen? No, it's frozen on my mod phone. Why? He's blinking. So my mod phone was stuck on a cutscene several minutes ago, I think. But also, let's see. It showed an image of Phoenix Wright on the bottom screen during a courtroom scene from the first case. I don't know if anyone else saw that. I was asking if it was frozen on the stream. I guess it's not. Because it was only affecting my phone. When I saw her, the witch was carrying a large milk bucket in one hand and a lantern in the other. The girl had the lightning lantern hanging from her wrist. Her red hand was contorted in a weird way. I got a good look at her hand, and it looked for certain that she was gripping something.
The witch was holding a scepter in her right hand. She did not drop it once before she was apprehended. I see. The accused hand was contorted in a strange way. I do believe this is quite an important piece of testimony.
I saw it. I most certainly saw it. She was holding an invisible scepter. What? We saw it too. It was a girl up there, without doubt.
I as well. These old eyes don't see as well as they once did, but I witnessed the hazy, blurry form of the accused quite clearly.
What? Don't tell the court you're blind.
My eyesight is as sharp as the edge of my trusty blade.
It's wiggling. A toy sword. How fascinating. Although I wonder if he understands the implications of that analogy on his vision. I wish I could lie that confidently. They're all lying. In their own little ways.
Sir Baker, you may proceed your interrogation.
Sir Layton's giving me another chance. I can't let it go to waste. Yeah, it did it right there, too. I don't think it's supposed to do that.
When I saw her, the witch was carrying a large... Oh, we already saw that.
So she's saying that she was holding the... Stop it, sheep. Goat. She was holding the scepter in her hand and had the lantern around her wrist. Press. Nope. Hold on. Why? Controls. Why is my L button not set correct? Okay. Okay, my L button was not set correctly. Okay. There we go. Free my man, Snowy. Justice for Snowy. I saw her. The witch was carrying a large penis. What exactly was the defendant gripping? It was... that's right. It was something cane-like. What was it called? A witch's scepter. Yes, it was definitely that.
Objection!
Whoa. Wait, Miss Kira, you didn't actually see it, did you? Witness? This cane-like object, was it perhaps roughly this size? Oh, yes, it was exactly that size. That's no good. They're all bent on assuming a spell was holding that scepter. It seems to me it would be best not to pursue this particular line of questioning any further. Well, that's just super. In her right hand, she did not drop it once before she was apprehended. Well, she did drop the lantern, which was also in her right hand.
Objection!
There's a high probability that Miss Cantabella was not holding the scepter. But if for the sake of argument she had been holding it, she would undoubtedly have dropped it at the time of the incident. What do you mean? What I mean, Inquisitor Barnum, is that this lantern proves the defendant was not holding the scepter.
Objection!
What foolishness are you spouting, Sir Prentice Baker? The lantern's handle was around the cursed accused wrists. Meaning she could have held the scepter? I'm afraid that's not the problem here, Inquisitor Barnum. The problem is with the broken glass, and the mud plastered all over it. What? The rain had ended just as the murder was taking place. That would make the path fairly muddy, don't you agree? Then, when the thieves grabbed Miss Cantabella's arm, the lantern must have fallen into the mud. The lantern fell into the mud? Why, of course, that makes sense, doesn't it, my little snowy woey? Well, what do you say, Inquisitor Barnum? If she was holding a scepter at that time, that would mean that when she dropped the lantern, the scepter would have fallen along with it. Ugh. What's going on? Inquisitor Barnum seems speechless. The defenders managed to turn things around, even though he's just some baker. No way. Pay the witch's accomplices don't need no heat. They're just trying to trick you. Just what is this?
Hold it!
One moment, please. Everyone, please listen. Didn't we all just stand here and explain to the court what we clearly saw? It's a lantern, so what? What's so special about it? Explain it to me so I can understand. So that you can understand? Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious just by looking at it. Mr. Wright. What is it, Mr. Layton? There's something about this witness. Miss Kira, was it? Tell me, Miss Kira. How good is your eyesight exactly? Huh? As you just heard Mr. Wright explain, the answer to your query is quite obvious at a glance. Tell me, are you able to see the mud present on this lantern? Mud? What mud? What are you talking about? Your Honor, did you hear that just now? Yes, indeed. What does it mean? What does it mean exactly? It means that Miss Kira's poor eyesight is the reason she cannot see the mud present on this lantern. In other words, the validity of Miss Kira's testimony is questionable at best. Sure. Order! Order the court! What is the meaning of this? What say in your defense, witness? I highly recommend you give us nothing but the truth. I'm sorry, Inquisitor Barnum. It's true, I need to wear glasses. All the time, in fact. You need to wear glasses? Aha! Now you mention it, I did notice something odd about you today. Oh, I thought you looked familiar. Gone is the mist that clouded in my mind. In this place, clarity. God, wordsmith, just get out of here. Fair maiden, a pair of spectacles are as valuable as a shield to a knight. Make haste to procure another pair. Now then, Miss Kira, tell me, at the time of the incident, were you wearing your glasses? No, I was not wearing them. The truth is, I lost my glasses a couple of days ago. You lost them. So her glasses were missing during the time of the incident. He doesn't have a shield. That's right, he's just banging on his armor. Mr. Wright, might I recommend that you keep note of this fact? It could prove useful later. Herschel already has solved this, by the way. Am I to believe there's nothing left to prove on this matter? At the time of the murder, the accused did not have a witch's scepter in possession. Wait just a moment. Snowy, I have much more left to say. That's right. My trusty sword of justice shall cut through the witch's treacherous lies. I may have lost my glasses, but I haven't lost my will to testify. Don't eat the flower. Eureka, I remember now. Old age has a way of sneaking up on me. I'm sure you must understand. Yeah, I understand. I understand you're all completely ridiculous. It would seem we have not yet arrived at a clear-cut verdict. Witnesses, you may once again begin to testify to the court. Tell us about the scepter and how it was used in the detestable display of witchcraft that you all witnessed tonight. Why does it show that? The girl was not holding a scepter in the same hand as the lantern, which means it must have been in her other hand. The accused is holding a milk bucket in the core illustration. Who's to say she wasn't holding the scepter in that hand? The milk bucket is lighter than looks. Even Snowy could carry it, so she could have easily held the scepter as well. I did not see this milk bucket. Everything felt like an illusion. I hate wordsmith. That's why I remember I hate wordsmith so much. I'm with you, Nick. I'm trying to explode these puzzles in my mind. The scepter was in her other hand, you say. Indeed, such a proposal is feasible. Sir Baker. Yes, Your Honor? It is the strangest thing. The longer this trial goes on, the more you begin to resemble a legitimate defender. Huh? Well, no matter. Defender, you may begin your interrogation. Who are the other defenders? Where are those people? Why does it show that image? Okay. Well... Hold on. Do I have the illustration with me? No. Profiles. Oh, I guess Robs and Mutts. Let's see. Title. Currently employed. Oh, look at her picture. Mysterious old guy totally detached from evidence.
Well, it doesn't show me. Milk bucket's lighter than it looks. It's not good. Right.
Hold it!
Her glasses are super cute. Yeah. Just 1 second, Miss Mary. What is it now? Snowy and I don't have all night, you know. So come on now. Then out with it. I just have one question regarding your testimony. How exactly did you know that the bucket Miss Cannabelli was carrying was light enough for Snowy to carry? Huh? Well, you see, the girl always uses the same bucket whenever she comes to buy milk from us. Naturally, I would have seen that bucket countless times before. You've seen it countless times before. That doesn't answer my question. You specifically said the bucket is lighter than it looks. Maybe the grimoire helps? Miss Mary, at some point tonight, you must have held that bucket yourself. Now then, please enlighten us as to exactly when you got your hands on the bucket. It's true. By that time, Robs and mugs had already been burnt to ash. Then, I noticed the milk in that bucket that the girl had been holding in her hand. The milk? Then, those two went up in a blaze. Snowy and I made a dash for the bucket. As the girl stood there looking confused, we took the milk from her to make sure it was okay. Huh? Unbelievable. Witness, you... Well, it was just so wasteful. The thought of all that disgusting ash falling into such precious milk. I felt I just had to protect the milk, so I took the bucket back to the farm with me. Madam, do you mean to tell the court that you took evidence from the crime scene back home with you? Yep, she sure did. That explains why we were unable to locate the milk bucket at the scene. Oh my, you're scaring poor Snowy. Here, I brought the bucket with me anyway. See, I didn't even tamper with the milk. I'm sure you didn't. The court shall accept this milk bucket as evidence. Oh my god. Looks like that one more piece of evidence for us. Now will the gentleman with an impressive beard proceed with his testimony? I did not see this milk bucket. Everything felt like an illusion. Hold on. Does ever testimony still is bound to be there? Can't believe Mary took the bucket home with her. Miss Mary must be one of those thieving forest wolves we've been hearing about. Let's hope she doesn't eat like a wolf as well, Luke, for her Snowy's sake. Oh my god. Wait, so she's in league with the wolves! That's a new piece of evidence, but the question is, how can I use it? You know, looking at this milk bucket now, it does sort of look different from the sketch, don't you think? It might be a good idea to get a nice good look at the actual milk bucket. Where's my illustration? Snowy, run. Wait. It's a wooden handle. You wouldn't be able to hold a staff, a scepter, and a bucket at the same time if it had a wooden handle. Is that shown in the illustration? Hold on. Cannot see this milk bucket. We have the milk bucket. Which means it wasn't under spells, so Wordsmith is just a fucking liar.
Objection!
All of your testimonies have come to the same conclusion. The scepter was not in her right hand with lanterns, therefore must have been in her other hand that was holding the bucket. However, that's not it. Not by a long shot. What do you mean? Contrary to what one of the witnesses stated, the milk bucket was in fact at the crime scene. And you'll also notice something about this bucket. Take another look at the core illustration. Something about the bucket seems a bit odd, wouldn't you say?
Objection!
Maybe you need to press more? This illustration is based on an eyewitness account, so a small discrepancy or two is conceivable.
Objection!
Actually, Inquisitor Barnum, it's highly likely that this illustration is much more less accurate than you think. In fact, there's a blatant contradiction present in this illustration. Admittedly, it does at first look possible that Miss Campbell's holding the scepter and the bucket at the same time. You know, that's more than a gallon of milk. It probably weighs like 10 pounds. I wouldn't be able to hold something like that with a scepter in my hand too. However, if you look at the real milk bucket, the possibility goes up in smoke. Here, let's have a look at the real deal. Notice the handle? That cannot be. Oh, but it is. This particular milk bucket has 2 pieces of wood on either side of the handle. Oh, that's why it's saying it. If you were to try and hold both the scepter and this bucket, well, let's just say that'd be challenged, to put it simply. There's no way anyone could hold both the bucket and the scepter at once. What? That must mean clearly you have the wrong bucket. We never lie when it comes to milk. That is the very bucket I took. Looks like the witnesses are as surprised about this as Barnum. I buff as hell, ooh woo. The defendant could have been able to hold the bucket and the scepter at once. Also, we have already established that she was not holding the scepter in her right hand. Therefore, the defendant, Miss Spell Candabella, was not holding a witch's scepter at any point during the incident. Order! Order! I said order! Just what is the meaning of this? In all my days as judge of this court, I have never heard such an argument. These are but paltry set of words, and yet they ring with such remarkable strength. Your Honor, what you just heard was logic. Logic, you say? What's with these two? They just silenced Inquisitor Barnum with mere words. Oh, he does have a shield. I don't think it's a big shield. Oh, it's at his feet, I think. Or he's just not carrying it all the time. That's foolishness. This must be some type of witchcraft. Wait, do you think... could they be witches? It would seem that the concept of logic does not exist in this world. Right, then let's take this chance to knock their case down a peg or two. I'm worried if we keep this up, we'll all be joining a spell in a one-way trip to the flames.
Objection!
Let's exist a spell, kill him. Most intriguing. A knight allows his sword to speak for him during battle. He has spoken with a sword of words. So be it. I too shall wield such a blade. What do you mean? Sir Blue Knight, there appears to be a hole in this logic of yours. A hole? According to the earlier testimony, it was believed the accused had the lantern hanging from her wrist by the handle. However, she supposedly dropped it, hence it being covered in mud. That's right. While that may be true, it does not necessarily mean the accused was therefore unable to use magic. It is merely a question of when she dropped the witch's scepter. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? It is very simple, my lord. The accused, while first holding the lantern and the witch's scepter, cast her magic. Then she dropped both the lantern and the scepter. The witch's scepter was dropped after the spell was cast. Of course, yes, that must be it. It's made of wood. He was waving it while when yelling. Oh. What say you, Sir Blue Knight? You must be wearing out your sword by taking it out all the time. That is but a taste of the knightly knowledge of the Inquisition. Wow, Sir Barnum cut through that baker's witchery like a hot knife through butter. Exemplary. Expect nothing less of the hand of Barnum. Oh, to be able to shake that powerful hand someday. The Inquisitor isn't quite what he first appeared. Yeah, he sure seems that way. Just a moment ago, it seemed like he'd never even heard a logical debate. Now he's suddenly using it against us. This guy's no joke, that's for sure. I think they used to wind up his fist because he's wearing like 30 pounds of armor on his right hand. Now then, most honorable witnesses, I ask that you lend us your aid once more. I request that you all testify to the court once more. Tell us which occurred first, the dropping of the lantern or the casting of the spell. Depends on what the sheath is made of, and if you always look correctly. Witnesses, you may begin your testimonies. Tell this court in your own words what the sequence of events which transpired tonight. It just keeps showing that image. I don't know why it does that. Of course, the lantern fell to the ground after the incantation of Ignace. Sploosh. I'm as sure as snow is white. I made sure to keep my eyes peeled on that milk bucket after all. So you weren't watching the lantern or the scepter? Besides, how can you be sure the lantern fell just because there's a little mud on it? These eyes do not lie. I saw the lantern in accused hand when the incantation was uttered. Well, it's sound figures. Their testimonies are all over the place now. These forged testimonies, they are most interesting. The witnesses all saw the same thing, and yet, people's memories are evidently quite fickle. They can never be truly a reliable source. Well then, Professor, with enough poking prodding about, we can really cause their testimonies to crumble. Of course, we need to exploit their fickle memories to turn this thing around. We've got this, Nick. We'll press them so hard they won't even remember what they had for breakfast. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast. Now, Sir Baker, you may begin your interrogation. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. Okay. So that means you weren't watching it at all. Okay. Well, oiled swords can avoid being scraped by a wooden sheath, but an oiled sword and leather sheath may actually be honed a little bit drying. Well, you're just gonna give me that you weren't even looking at the lantern, so...
Hold it!
What do you mean? Well, maybe the mud was already on the lantern before any of this happened. Did you ever think of that? Before any of this happened? Like, maybe it's been there since last week. It did rain last week after all. If that's the case, then there really isn't any point arguing about whether or not she dropped the lantern, right? Indeed. What say you, Defender? When I say take a closer look at the lantern, you'll notice there's mud on the glass. Mud on the glass? The lantern wouldn't be very useful, all that mud blocking out the light. Miss Kira, I'd say your little theory regarding this lantern is muddy at best. I could point witnesses till the cows come home. But that wouldn't turn this testimony into anything I can use. I gotta find a lead somewhere. Okay, that doesn't really help me. Lantern fell to the ground at an incantation. Nays. Sploosh. Glass is broken. Wouldn't you even heard the glass break?
Hold it!
Lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that? I say, I am positive. I am positive. I heard her voice and then sploosh. That sploosh. Was that the sound of the lantern hitting the ground? Indeed. But of course, do you see? But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice that the glass is shattered. You specifically said you heard a sploosh. Shouldn't you have heard the sound of the glass shattering when it hit the ground? The sound of glass shattering? No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift. I was present in an area a bit farther away from the crime scene, you see. I have no recollection of hearing such a sound. No recollection. Precisely so. I'll have you know, I can easily hear a dog barking across town. Do not underestimate my hearing. I wasn't. Relax, Grandpa. There's nothing of interest in this testimony. Will the witness with the goat please proceed with her testimony? Huh? Right, you mean us. You startle us, didn't you, Snowy? Goat. What do you think, Nick? Do you notice anything fishy? Yeah, possibly. I think there may be something I can use. Really? Wow, I didn't hear anything special. There's definitely something out of place by that one witness's testimony. Something I haven't noticed from any of the other witnesses so far. Here's where you may have found something, Miss Wright. A 4-witness cross-examination. This is something I've never done before. But then, maybe there's another way I could be tackling this. I believe it was worth trusting that intuition, Miss Wright. Okay, got it. Alright, let's try pressing that old man one more time.
Hold it! Hold it!
There it is. Right there. I knew I heard something strange. Little Graybeard didn't say anything weird. Maya, it's not the old guy that said something weird. It's the person next to him. Next to him? Look there, Professor. The goat lady, she looks really deep in thought. It would seem she has noticed something odd in this elderly gentleman's testimony. That's right. These cross-examinations have 4 witnesses. Hey, Nick, it looks like we're not the only ones paying attention to these testimonies. You're right. Which means if they're all listening to each other's testimonies. Correct, Mr. Wright. Each witness is fully aware of themselves and their own actions when in the middle of their own testimonies. However, it is while listening to the testimonies of others, the witnesses may sometimes reveal the most valuable information. I see, it's habitual. They can't tell they're doing it, but I can. I'm going to use it to turn the tide back in our favor. In fact, I do believe I may have spotted our first opening which attests this new technique. That's right. Have you considered a tutorial? It's a matter of catching them off guard and questioning them. What are you waiting for, Nick? Let's get a shot. How about we try questioning Goalie, Nick's old Graybeard? Okay, I'll have to just slide a magnifying glass over that witness.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Mary. Oh, what do you mean us? But Snowy, I have nothing else left to say. I knew it. I caught her completely by surprise. Mr. Wordsmith just gave his testimony. He told us all about the sound he heard when the lantern fell to the ground. Mr. Wordsmith didn't seem too sure, but I wonder if you might happen to have something to say about this. Well, let's, Is that alright, Sir Barnum? Might we answer the question? Do what you will, madam. There's no need for formalities. Huh? Well, we'll try and explain, won't we, Snowy? The truth is, we did hear something. As say, we heard the sound of the lantern's glass shattering. We're sure of it. It was frighteningly loud. It quite startled us, didn't it, Snowy dear? I looked in the direction of the sound, but
couldn't see anything, let alone the girl or those two thieves. It was a tad dark after all. Thank God it's different voice acting in Phoenix's regular lines. It does sound different. When the glass shattered, the flame inside must have gone out, hence she could not see them. That seems to be the gist of it. Then, as I peered in darkness, I heard it. You heard it? What exactly? You know, that. I heard... incantation for the spell Ignaze. Can you really call it incantation if you just say the word? What? What did you say? Now hold it right there, witness. Yes, my lord. The glass shattered when the lantern fell. Then after that, you heard the incantation for the spell Ignaze. So we're back to where we were before. Do you swear to this court that this is without doubt correct? Yes, maybe, I think.
How about my testimony? What of my oratorical observation? That blasted spell, Ignaze, occurred first. Then the lantern plummeted to the ground.
I heard no such thing. There was no sound of shattering glass.
Absurd! Simply absurd! So the lantern fell, the glass shattered. That does not change the very fact that this girl's a witch.
Objection!
I hate to disappoint you. That's not quite the case. In fact, this testimony changes quite things a lot. Would you agree, Mr. Barnum?
What is the meaning of this?
Let's go over what we know so far. In order for a witch to use any magic, they must be holding a witch's scepter. And yet, none of the four witnesses saw the defendant holding a scepter of any kind.
That's because the scepter was made to disappear with the spell to mirror, correct?
At the time of the crime, the two victims grabbed Miss Cantabelle's arm, causing her to drop the lantern onto the ground. If at any time she was in fact holding an invisible scepter, then the scepter must have fallen when she dropped the lantern. Now let's say, hypothetically, that Miss Cantabella really is a witch. In order to use any magic, she would have had to recite the spell before dropping the scepter. However, as our witness Miss Mary has just stated in her testimony, she heard the incantation for Ignaze after hearing the lantern's glass shatter. You do all understand what that means, don't you? It means that Miss Cantabella, the supposed witch you've locked up, could not possibly have cast any magic. Therefore, the defendant, Isabella Cantabella, is clearly in no way, shape, or form a witch. Oh, he does have a shield. Let him go!
Such frivolity. Do you realize what you're insinuating? Do you really think she's not a witch?
Such nonsense. Did any of you even listen to my testimony? We did, but you're wrong. There was no glass shattering. Are you calling me a liar, Missy? You couldn't even see the mud on the lantern, which is plain as day.
What ridiculous claims, all of you!
Oh, hush. Take your little toy sword and go back to playing pretend, Sir Knight. Phoenix's lines are reused between games, but Hang On is a line unique to this game, so it's done by a guy who voices Phoenix in the cutscenes.
Witnesses, this is court of law, not a playground. Must I remind you of the importance of these police proceedings?
So they don't have fingerprints, but they have playgrounds?
Witches and their magic threaten our fair town of Labyrinthia. Your words here today could decide the fate of every single citizen within our walls. Do you understand? As such, I expect each of you to take your role seriously and testify honestly about what you saw. In all my days as judge of this court, I've never seen such behavior. Behavior that leaves a cloud of doubt over the credibility of each of your testimonies.
Indeed, my lord, quite a miserable set of witnesses, this lot.
I see.
It would appear this trial has come to a sudden halt. So that must mean, quite right, means you have won this trial, Miss Wright. We've won.
I can hardly believe the situation we ever found ourselves in. I did not anticipate this trial ending with such a strange turn of events. But due to these witnesses' dubious credibility, I can see no reason to continue. Stop eating the flowers!
Phoenix complains about this court being irregular when in this game, so nobody has heard of a discovery.
What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? As you wish, my lord. What is going on? They're actually going to let this witch run free through the town? Curses! If it wasn't for that witch and her friends...
Hold it!
Who the hell is that? Oh, it's this guy.
This trial ain't even close
Oh.
to being over. Not before I take the stand to testify!
Order! Order! Who is this buffoon?
Oh my god.
Behold! Who am I, you ask? Who am I? Why? I'm the man that's gonna single-handedly save this trial on the fifth witness!
Say what?
What?
Even Barnum didn't see this one coming.
Okay, lot. Sybil, we need a strategy meeting ASAP. Marseille, who are you? Thank goodness you showed up. We can't give up now, everyone. It's come down to this. To arms, everyone. We shall do battle against that baker and that hat seller. I can't believe this. What the heck is going on? Truly fascinating. It seems a new witness has taken the stand. What's more, he appears to be quite the formidable witness. Look at him go. Trial's still far from over. Some guy, I love when guys win games like this, give people name based on assumptions until they say their name. Also, Wordsmith's eyes went low polygon. And we're gonna stop there.